The Tigers are headed to the Final Four. The Tiger Lacrosse Report starts now. Hello fans and welcome to the Tiger Lacrosse Report. I'm your host Spiro Morekas, joined as always by head coach Shawn Nadelen. The Tigers are headed to the Final Four for the first time since 2001. They will take on the Ohio State Buckeyes at noon at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And coach, this is a rematch. The two teams played back on March the 15th. It was kind of a weird circumstance. You were supposed to play on a Tuesday night. We had the only snowstorm of the year in Baltimore that Tuesday night, so you moved the game to Wednesday. It was played in very, very cold temperatures. The final was 6-3. The one thing that stands out is that Jake Withers, the face-off man for Ohio State, dominated the face-off circle. That's something that probably the first thing that you look at coming into this game, wouldn't it be?
Absolutely, and he's continued to be very strong, since that game and then obviously before that game, and we didn't have an answer for him. So again, we're preparing for that in practice, between Alex and our face-off guys, continue to prepare on how we need to attack them and obviously, make that battle go, in our favor, and something that we didn't get a chance to do and execute well in the first game. So, that's going to be a big piece to it all.
I'm not going to I know you don't want to make excuses or anything like it, but in that first Ohio State game, Jack Adams wasn't 100%, Joe Sider wasn't 100%. Joe barely played, if I recall correctly, in that ball game, only took one shot. So those are a couple of things that you have going for you that you didn't have going then. But this Ohio State team has played extremely well since beating Towson. They beat Denver the following week. They just had a great performance against Duke. Eric Fennell, 5 goals, 2 assists. He's obviously their go-to guy on the offense.
Yeah, Ohio State's a very balanced team. As we just talked about, they face off very well. Their goalie's been playing very strong, and defenses, they run a couple different looks and throw you off your sets at times offensively. And for their offense, they're very balanced. Their attack is producing more of the points, but their midfield's just as capable and doing a lot of maybe that leg work to open up their attack at times as well. So Eric Fennell had a terrific day against Duke. It's not surprising. The kid's a great talent, and he's a really, really strong competitor. But they as a whole, Ohio State as a whole offense has done a really good job gelling. It looks like over the past few weeks and month basically since we've seen them, month and a half, and they're distributing the ball well and sharing for their opportunities.
Nobody stumbles into the Final Four. Everybody that gets to the Final Four is playing well. So it's stupid to say, well, they're playing okay, but everybody's playing well coming into the Final Four. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage that you guys have played each other? Because Maryland's going to play Denver. They haven't played each other this year. You have played Ohio State. Do you like that? Not like that? Doesn't make any difference.
I feel like it's an advantage for both teams because both teams are on the field playing against each other. So you understand, your guys have played against their guys, and conversely. So you're familiar with what, the tendencies are personnel-wise, maybe some familiar, offenses or defensive packages that you see out there. They were aggressive in the ride, which we expect them to do again this week coming up. So we got to continue to prepare for that and be much better against that. That's forced us to kind of make some adjustments, in our clearing game, which hopefully we've gotten better at. We'll see on Saturday. And again, they're continuing to face off very well. So they're operating at a very high level right now. And it's both teams are going to be familiar with each other just from playing each other over the past few years.
The other thing is the game was March 15th. Now we're at the end of May, so it's been almost 3 full months since the two teams have played. The biggest change for you is goaltender. Josh Miller played the first time, and he played well against Ohio State. And now you've got Matt Hoy, who has got to be one of the hottest goalies in the country coming into this game. So that's something that Ohio State's going to see that's different. Do you see anything in looking at film that is much different from them than what you saw back in March?
I feel like they've simplified who they are offensively, and it's not that it's not that they're getting overly complicated or anything like that. They know which personnel they need where. They know what kind of systems they want to get in. I feel like when we played them back in mid-March, they were still trying to figure out if this kid's really going to be, a guy we can depend on at the attack or at the midfield, and are we a 2-2-2 team? Are we a 1-4-1 team type things? And they've I think simplified and what they're doing offensively to become more efficient. They have a plan and an idea of what they need and want to do in kind of every situation. That's something that Coach Myers does a great job with those guys. They are I don't want to say ahead of, but they are prepared for what they plan to do and what the other teams are going to do in all facets of the game.
Your defense is playing tremendously well. It's been now 9 straight weeks. The teams have not been able to get into double digits, and a lot of people are making a lot of that. What they don't realize is last year's team did it 11 times in a row. Compare this year's defense to last year's defense. What do you see? What is similar? What is not similar? Is one better than the other? Both just excellent? What's your assessment of the last year's Tiger defense compared to this one?
We're definitely continuing to get strong, strong play from our goalie, this year with both of them. And then obviously Matt's really stepped up his game the past few weeks. Our defensive midfield continues to be strong there. Our close unit, being that they were inexperienced this year, has started to gel much better, become, the defense as a whole has become much more cohesive. I don't think we're as athletic still at the close position as we were last year. We're definitely not as seasoned with, the guys like Michael O and Cortez and Gorman and those guys that we had playing for us down there. But those guys understand what they're capable of. They're not getting themselves in too much trouble on the defensive end, and everybody's understanding our package a little bit more and executing better.
Sid Ewell had a tremendous game against Syracuse. He was all over the place and played a great game. Practice this week. What do you do to keep the team under control? Obviously, every college lacrosse player, their dream is to get to the Final Four. They have now gotten there. What do you do to keep everybody focused and in tune to, hey, we still got 2 games to play and 2 games to win?
Well, there's still work to be done. We've been able to put ourselves in this position, and these guys have earned this opportunity. This is what they work hard towards. Now we've got to continue to push forward. We're finishing up finals on Tuesday, graduation on Wednesday, so still dealing with some of that distraction with everything that we got going on. So just trying to keep the guys, hungry with that piece to it. Knowing that practice isn't going to be daunting, but we still need to get some good work done on the field. They approached it well so far in the early part of the week, and I'm going to look to our leaders and seniors to carry this forward.
All right, Coach. Good luck on Saturday. And when the Tigers win on Saturday, tune in sometime Sunday, early Monday, for a special Foxborough edition of the Tiger Lacrosse Report with Coach Nadelen and myself. So I will be with you live on TowsonTigers.com starting at 11:45 as the Tigers will take on the Buckeyes of Ohio State in the first of 2 games in the Final Four from Foxborough, Maryland, and Denver follow the Tigers and Ohio State. So for head coach Shawn Nadelen, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.